Hello, Gail's got Parkinson's. Doing a bit more sci-fi. It's one of these muddled up games I do, and I'm going to largely use Stargrave for the fighting bit, but I use 5 Parsecs for the roleplay bit before I get here. What I like about 5 Parsecs is I can sit with a percentage dice, a d20, and I can and a notebook, and I can throw a dice, and it tells me what happens. 2 of your crew might have a punch up. You might do a bit of extra training. You might learn something on the ship's computer. There might be something terrible happens. There might be something neutral happens. There might be something really good happens. And you can fill in your own stories and things develop. I started out with my crew of 6, as it was then, working for a university at an archaeological site doing security. And as the game unravelled, they've got more and more embroiled in the world, and they've earned more money and more experience and had more adventures. And now there are about 14 of them in the squad. A couple of them have got married. And they're working for the principal agency of the universe in Parsecs, which is called Unity, like sort of freelance policey mercenaries. But for this combat, I'm going to use Stargrave, which is what I do with my friends. Sometimes I use 5 Parsecs, sometimes I simplify it right down. The advantage of playing a proper game is you can say to whoever you are gaming with, we're going to do Stargrave, and they can familiarise themselves with the rules. If they're rules you're making up or you've made up, then it's more complicated and there might be more holes in them and so on. So this is what the scene looks like. Unity got a call from this little mining community, but it was a bit garbled. There was some problem, but they didn't know what it was. So they dispatched my squat team, who were all figures from the 1980s, from when I used to play Warhammer 40,000, and they've arrived on the planet, asteroid, and they've met the local law, it's a Judge Dredd set to Judge Anderson and Judge Dredd, and that's not who it is. They just dress like that in this part of the galaxy. And it turns out when I used Parsecs, I threw 91 on 100 dice, and it is a high-tech group. Now, we don't know that they're hostile particularly, but you can see them down the far end of the road. They've got high-class weapons. They've got high-tech weapons. They're incredibly tall. If I put, say, that chap there next to a squat, you can see the intimidation levels are rising. We don't know who they are. We've never encountered them before. Local populace are jumpy. I think I need to know now how this is going to pan out. I could say it's going to be a war game. It's definitely going to be a fight, but it might not be. Not everything has to be a terrible, horrible battle. So I've got these dice with little faces on, and that'll tell me the mood people are in. So my captain, let's do initiative first. So this is my initiative. I got an 8. It's all done D20s on Stargrave, and their initiative is a 3. So I'm going to go first. So I could shoot, ask questions later. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to sort of do the decent thing. I'm just going to advance 6. Now I can move another 3. I can take a shot with a penalty because I've moved. But for now, That's all I'm going to do. And my captain gets to move a set number of crew. And in this particular scenario, it's going to be 3. He is going to just amble to there quietly. And these 2 are going to drop back to there. Not making a big ploy of anything. They're not, oh, look at me, I'm all ready to shoot you. I'll put them there, you see them better. That's a halfling sniper and a trooper. So that's my first move. And I always say that you can speak clearly, talk 6 inches. Oh, I can talk, and he might be able to hear me, but this is the guy I need to impress with the yellow, what you calls it's on, and he's too far away. So I am going to show, I'm not pulling my gun out or anything. I'm advancing another 3, and I'm now in a position to talk to him. Okay? And I just say, we are representing the mining colony at Unity. We would like to welcome you, but need to be sure that your motives are honourable, as I'm certain you'll understand. And his response to that is, that looks a bit sad. Oh, I don't think. I think that's proper mad. He's not mad. He's saddened by that. Why? Why has that made him sad? I think because they're big and green and scary, they're used to people treating them badly. And in reality, they're only coming to, make first contact. They're not angry or anything, are they? No, I think that's a good place. In Parsecs, if I'm playing 5 Parsecs, I would stop that there and I'd say, right, I'm going to write that up in my notes. And let's invite their captain and me, my captain, and the local law enforcement to meet. And we'll sort of, iron out a few bits and bobs. We might have found a new ally, never mind a new enemy. So it might not be a game. In a game, I suppose, you'd just come in and open fire, wouldn't you? Me and my mate played a game of Stargrave yesterday, and I had every intention of going around the town looking for loot and looking for data. The moment I stepped out down the road, 3 of his men tried to shoot me head off. So it just ended up a game of total annihilation and obliteration. But it all worked out right for me in the end, because he lost 5 of his men. I didn't lose any. I had 2 wounded. I didn't have any die. So I'm just going to move this round here. Taking it view. I moved a lot of the townspeople just to make sure no one was going to get killed by accident. There's all sorts of, yes, Luke Skywalker and Princess Leia, then a little droid, and then if you look closely, I'm not going to point at him, but there's a Judge Dredd, Judge Anderson, and there's a Ghostbuster or 2, and Spock and Lieutenant Uhura, all in the same picture there, with a Judge Dredd vehicle flying through. Or in the very distance, there's a Foundry Viking and lady and 2 children, and a very old model of a female dwarf next to some blue oil drums, wearing a blue hat. Because they're just things I've acquired, things I've picked up, You do, don't you? People send you things, or you find things, or you get bits. That bit of fencing down there is some corrugated card, some bits of actual plastic kit for something else that got broken, piece of wire wrapped around a pencil, some of that mesh that you use between two boards when you're plastering over plasterboard, all glued together, sprayed brown, bits of all sorts bunged on it, old bricks on the other side, I think, if I turn it round. Bit of a chain I found here, bit of cloth, that's some old cardboard. I don't know, just stick them together, make your own scenery. Nice. Just have fun. None of this is from any particular maker. I'm not playing Fallout or Warhammer or Traveller. It's just a scenario, and it can be whatever I want it to be. I hope some of what we do inspires you. Don't forget, you can have a subscribe and join the family. Make sure you like what we're doing before you do that, because if it's horrible and going to annoy you, you're better off not doing it. Don't do anything in life that annoys you. It's not worth it. And so, having made a new friend in deep space, ta-da, Chuck.